I probably should have written down my thoughts before even attempting to do this. I was unsure for a while if I wanted to even talk about this, but I think for me personally, also just as a memory, it would be quite nice to have this sort of moment in time captured. In my mind, everything just feels like it's so important and very deep, when in reality it's just not everything has to be, like deeply philosophical or whatever. But I don't know, at the same time I think with memories, if you really share, if you really cherish a certain memory, and if it's really important to you, then I don't know, maybe then that's just the way it is. You don't have to like downplay your feelings or whatever. So this summer in August, I spent 1 month in Florence, and it feels very strange to talk about this now because obviously I'm not in Florence anymore, and I think the way I think about it is kind of as if I'm mourning a dead person, and the dead person is actually just a city, which doesn't really make a lot of sense because even though I'm not there anymore, it doesn't mean that I will never be back. The reason actually why I went there in the first place is because I wanted to do a painting class, and that is something that I've always wanted to do because I never went to art school. I only studied art in high school, but that wasn't really, professional in a way. And so because I really love to paint and to draw, I've always wanted to do something like this. First about sort of Florence, the city, and just my thoughts of being an artist. I think when I arrived, I was very nervous and I didn't really expect too much. I think I thought that I was just going to paint for a month and that would be it, but I think in the end I learned so much more. I think Florence is really a city where I felt very at home, even just the first few days when I was walking home from art class in the late afternoon. I think just the architecture of the city and just living in such a place, it really changes, I guess, your mind and your perception of the world. I think you just want to look at everything and perceive everything and kind of take everything in, and just that alone, it makes you feel so inspired, and I feel like there's something magical about it even. I think I've never lived in a city before, or even been to a city before that appreciates art in such a way. And being a painter, being an art teacher, passing on your knowledge to kind of future artists, and just perceiving all of the traditions of art, the way that it's cherished there, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I think for the first time I actually sort of believed that I could make a living as an artist and dedicate my whole life to being an artist, because it felt like there it is actually possible. For me, it was this wave of encouragement that maybe being an artist, it doesn't just have to be a dream, it could actually be a reality. And also being at an art school, I think it's so nice when you have people there who believe in you or just appreciate what you can do and sort of who want to push you more and more and help you develop your skills. And obviously this can be different for everyone because everyone has their own background and how they grew up. But for me, I've always liked to draw and paint. I've always been very drawn to everything that has to do with art. But obviously it can depend on how your family views all these kind of things. But for me, growing up, I think being an artist, it was never a possibility as a job. It was always just a hobby. And I think being in an art school and just being surrounded by people who really appreciate what you do, and kind of just being around people who kind of see your potential, I guess, in a way, it just felt very encouraging to me, and it's something that I've never really experienced before. Now, secondly, I wanted to talk about friendships and people. I think that if you pursue something, if you are in a career that really fits who you are, that really fits your interest and your passion, then you will naturally be surrounded by people who are similar to you in a way. And I really learned this when I was in Florence. When I was doing the art course, I think maybe not the first time, but for the first time in a long time, I really felt surrounded by people who are so similar to me. It just showed me that being an artist and being surrounded with people who share the same passions as me and who share the same interest, not just about art, but about books, about history, about philosophy, about all these things. It really showed me that your environment really changes so much. And even though I love being alone and I really need my time alone, I think I really learned how important it is to be surrounded by good people and, to do things alone, but also to do things with other people and make memories together, and how much that can enrich your life, and just how much positive, or just how much of a positive influence that can be on your life. And on that regard, I also just want really just to encourage people to really pursue what they want to do. So if you want to be a painter, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a photographer, if it's in the realm of your possibility, I would just really encourage you to try and actually do what you want to do. Because, maybe this is a bit philosophical, but we only have one life, and if somehow you have enough money saved, maybe to afford going to art school, maybe you can somehow work on the side, I would really encourage just everyone to really pursue what they really want to pursue. And if you're really passionate about something, then why would you not spend as much time as possible of your life doing just that? And so even though kind of going to art school, maybe studying something like languages or literature, sometimes is regarded as kind of a waste of time, because when you think about jobs, it's much more secure to go to law school, study medicine, study economics or whatever. But I think if you are so passionate about something and if it brings you so much joy, then I would try just my hardest to really do what you want to do, even though people tell you that, you shouldn't study art, you shouldn't study language or music. I would just say that maybe just let these people speak, but also if it's something that you want to do so much, then why would you give up your dreams, or just why would you let go of all of that just because other people tell you that you shouldn't do it? If you try your best to really achieve what you want to achieve, then please do it, because it will change so much for you in your life. And I would never want to miss out on such an experience or such an opportunity of really dedicating your life to what you love so much. And I think that's really what I learned whilst being there.